Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Glad to be here.
Today we're plunging into, well, a really profound ancient technique. Something that promises to be, maybe, a true superpower in our modern, often quite overwhelming lives. We're talking about gaining perspective, like a radical shift in how we view our daily struggles. It's a method for cultivating what the Stoics called the unconquerable mind.
Yeah, and it tackles that feeling we all know. I mean, intimately, right? That knot in your stomach or that persistent hum of anxiety that just seems to stick around.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's like an upcoming deadline that just feels massive, like it's going to bury you.
Or some small argument, maybe.
Yeah.
Something petty with a colleague that suddenly takes over your whole head.
Exactly. Or, a demanding boss, and their latest request just feels like the absolute, complete end of the world.
Right. They seem like common, everyday things, but they just have this uncanny ability to, well, expand, don't they?
They really do. They grow and grow in our minds until they feel utterly enormous, totally all-consuming, just seemingly insurmountable. And you get trapped in this cycle of worry and, well, just discontent.
Absolutely. It's like these problems cast this huge shadow over everything, creates this sense you're always kind of on edge. You find yourself stuck in this like low-grade anxiety or maybe simmering frustration, maybe even outright anger sometimes.
And Seneca, the great Roman Stoic, playwright, philosopher, he really got this. He understood this human vulnerability perhaps better than anyone.
He called anger brief insanity to
He did, brief insanity. And also anti-joy. He warned, pretty starkly actually, that no plague has cost the human race more than anger.
Wow, no plague. That's strong.
Yeah. He talked about the enormous damage it does, how it can ruin cities, nations, but also, maybe most importantly, us. Individually. He figured if we don't learn to control this really destructive emotion, we risk being angry all the time, just robbing ourselves of any chance at, tranquility or contentment.
In that observation, it really highlights a stark contrast, doesn't it? When you think about some of the big names from antiquity.
Like Socrates.
Exactly, like Socrates. Even though he lived in a time full of, well, political turmoil, betrayals, constant threat of public condemnation. He just never seemed to get upset.
It's legendary, his composure. Just unflappable, even when, facing a death sentence from the very people he tried to teach.
Right. And his main thing was always listening, understanding, trying to get at the truth, not winning the argument or proving himself right.
He just had this profound inner peace. It's something many of us, well, we can only dream of, really.
Totally. While most of us are wired, almost instinctively, to fight and win every tiny little thing.
Yeah.
Every little slight, every disagreement. Like, our life depends on it. And Socrates showed, just by example, that real wisdom, real peace, it lies somewhere else entirely.
He was just much more interested in hearing what other people had to say, letting their perspectives maybe shape his own understanding rather than just making sure his voice was the loudest.
It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, is fighting every single battle, no matter how small, is that actually solving anything? Or is it just creating more internal noise, more agitation, making that on-edge feeling even worse?
Precisely. And this is where the idea of gaining perspective really slots in, not just as like a handy coping mechanism, but as a vital, genuinely transformative superpower.
Okay, so not ignoring problems.
No, not at all. It's not about pretending they don't exist. It's more about actively reframing them, resizing them, maybe even shrinking them a bit so they stop dominating your inner world. It lets you respond with, clarity instead of just reacting.
And for this skill, this essential ability, we turn to Stoicism, which is, well, it's this ancient philosophy of life, but it offers surprisingly practical, really robust guidance for living a meaningful and fulfilling existence.
And for the Stoics, the big goal, the ultimate guide, wasn't money or fame or anything like that. It was achieving this deep inner state of tranquility and virtue.
Okay, but tranquility can sound a bit passive or maybe detached.
That's a really important point, actually, and it's crucial to get this right. Stoic tranquility isn't some kind of zombie-like state, devoid of all emotion or connection.
Right.
Far from it. The sources we're looking at, they explain it very carefully. It's defined quite specifically as the absence of negative emotions, such as anger, grief, anxiety, and fear. The ones seen as really corrosive to your well-being.
Okay, the absence of the negative.
And this is key. That absence is coupled with the presence of positive emotions, in particular, joy.
Ah, okay. So it's not numb, it's actually positive.
Exactly. It's about cultivating this profound inner calm, this deep sense of serenity that actually lets you engage with the world more effectively, more virtuously, and with the genuine sense of, well, gratitude and appreciation. It's really a state of robust psychological health.
What's really fascinating here, and something I think people often miss, is that this wasn't just philosophy for academics locked away somewhere.
No, not at all.
Stoicism was very much a philosophy for uh, doers of the world, people who needed real, tangible strength and stamina for their challenging lives.
Lives that were often incredibly tough, full of pressure and adversity.
I mean, think about it. Emperor Marcus Aurelius, running one of the biggest, most chaotic empires ever.
Right. Or Epictetus, he started as a slave, and against all odds becomes this hugely influential teacher, even friends with an emperor.
And Seneca himself, famous playwright, brilliant speaker, powerful political advisor, navigating the treacherous world of the Roman court.
And the list goes way beyond just those famous three, which really shows how universal these principles were. Zeno, the guy who actually founded Stoicism, he was a successful merchant, a businessman whose life got totally upended by a shipwreck, which led him to philosophy.
Didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah. And Cleanthes, who took over from Zeno, he was a former boxer, but he worked as a water carrier, like manual labor, just to pay for his education. Shows real perseverance, humility. Then you've got people like Cato the Younger, this famously incorruptible Roman politician, always standing up for Republican ideals against guys like Caesar.
And even more recently, right? Didn't Rockefeller use some of this stuff?
Absolutely. John D. Rockefeller, famous for keeping his cool during those huge market crashes. He saw chaos as opportunity. And Abraham Lincoln, with his mantra, this too shall pass, guiding him through the absolute horror of the Civil War.
Incredible range of people.
It is. Even figures like Thomas Jefferson, Adam Smith the economist, Toussaint Louverture the revolutionary, they all drew heavily on Stoicism. They applied its principles to their really demanding lives, public and private.
So these weren't people living easy, sheltered lives by any stretch.
Definitely not. They faced enormous challenges, personal, public, the weight of empires, the brutality of slavery, cutthroat politics, economic ruin, civil war, revolution, you name it.
And Stoicism gave them a kind of operating system.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. A personal operating system, as some modern thinkers call it. A framework for navigating all that adversity, keeping their composure, acting with virtue no matter what was happening outside.
So today we're going to dig into one of their most powerful techniques, something really accessible, but profoundly transformative. It's central to building that unconquerable mind, the view from above.
It's a profound spiritual exercise, a deliberate shift in perspective that can, well, quite literally change your whole experience of the world and your problems within it.
Okay, let's really get into this technique then, because it sounds simple, maybe, but the power is immense.
It is. At its core, the view from above is a mental exercise, or as the French philosopher Pierre Hadot described it, and he studied this stuff meticulously, it's a spiritual exercise, meaning it's a practice meant to transform your inner being, not just your thoughts.
Okay, so deeper than just positive thinking.
Much deeper. The whole idea is to intentionally, deliberately zoom out from your immediate tiny perspective. You step back from your personal issues, your surroundings, your day-to-day worries, to take in a much, much larger picture.
And when you say much larger picture, how large are we talking?
We're talking about seeing like the whole sweep of humanity, the entire planet, and ultimately the vast, almost incomprehensible cosmos itself.
Wow. Okay.
The purpose of this cosmic flight of the soul, as Hadot beautifully put it, it's powerful, and it works on a few levels. First, it's designed to reveal the splendor of the universe and the splendor of the spirit. It reminds us of this magnificent order, this interconnectedness that underlies everything.
Right.
And crucially, it aims to make human affairs seem very tiny and puny.
Yeah.
Not in a depressing way, but in a way that makes them feel not worthy of being overly desired or excessively feared.
So it's not about making your life seem unimportant.
No, exactly. It's about diminishing the weight you attach to external things, to events outside your control.
This feels very different from how a lot of philosophy is talked about today.
It really does. And our sources point this out keenly. Modern philosophy often seems to have lost interest in philosophies of life as actual guides for living.
Yeah, it can feel very theoretical, very academic sometimes.
Right. Focused on analysis or history or these highly specialized debates, often kind of disconnected from the messy reality of being human. But the ancient Stoics, They were absolutely insistent that the primary reason to study Stoicism is so we can put it into practice.
It wasn't just thinking about stuff, it was doing stuff.
Yeah.
Internally.
Exactly. It wasn't an intellectual game. It was about transforming your lived experience, building inner resilience, achieving that deep sense of tranquility. Philosophy is a way of life,
Yeah.
a direct path to a more meaningful existence.
And this view from above, it's tied into a core Stoic belief, isn't it?
Yeah.
About everything being connected.
Deeply rooted in it, yeah.
Hmm.
This fundamental idea of the interconnectedness and mutual interdependence of all things in the universe, it's this grand, holistic vision.
Like a giant web.
That's a good image. The Stoics said all things are mutually woven together and therefore have an affinity for each other. For one thing follows after another according to their tension of movement, their sympathetic stirrings, and the unity of all substance.
Okay. That's quite poetic, sympathetic stirrings.
It is. Think of it like that vast, intricate tapestry. Every thread, however small, affects the whole picture. Or maybe like gears in a massive clock. Each gear has its own tension of movement, but they all move together in sympathetic stirrings, creating this unified, seamless operation. It's this profound sense of unity, of belonging to something vastly larger than just ourselves, that gives context to everything else, especially our personal struggles.
Yeah, it's about seeing that the universe isn't just random chaos.
Exactly. It's about recognizing deep down that the universe is a regular state, under one polity, governed by a rational, ordered nature. Everything from the dance of galaxies down to the smallest leaf falling comes from universal nature and in conformity with the will of universal nature. And when you truly grasp that interconnectedness, that grand order, your individual worries, your personal dramas, they start to look incredibly small, almost insignificant within that huge harmonious flow.
Marcus Aurelius wrote about this a lot in his meditations, didn't he?
Constantly. He reflected on this idea, observing with such clarity how the earth itself is but as a point in the universe.
Yeah.
He really tried to internalize that truth. Not to feel bad about being small, but actually to feel liberated from the smallness of his own immediate concerns.
Yeah, he really drove home how mankind's place and role are minuscule amidst such immensity. I remember that quote. Asia and Europe are nothing but a tiny corner of the world. The sea is a drop of water. Mount Athos is a mound of earth. And the present moment, nothing more than a point.
Mm-hmm. Powerful imagery.
It really is. And when you let that sink in, really hold that image.
Yep.
That argument you had or that work deadline or even feeling slighted by someone,
Yeah.
it just shrinks, doesn't it?
It puts things in their proper cosmic scale. It reveals this huge disproportion between our temporary irritations and the, well, eternal, boundless scope of existence. It's a powerful recalibration.
And this connects to that Stoic idea of axia, right? True value.
Directly, yes. Axia, that crucial term for the true value or worth of things. The Stoics were always pushing us to really examine what we truly value.
Because we often get it wrong.
They believed so. That too often in our daily lives, we trade things of great value for things of very little value.
Like what? What kind of trade?
Well, think about it. We might trade our peace of mind for a quick flash of anger, or our contentment right now for anxiety about some uncertain future, or maybe genuine connection with someone for just superficial praise.
Yeah, I see that.
We get caught up in things that are ultimately, indifferent things outside our control, like what other people think or material stuff, and we attach huge emotional weight to them as if they are the key to our happiness or suffering. The cosmic perspective, the view from above, it helps us radically reevaluate those values. It helps us see what truly matters, our character, our virtue, our inner peace, versus what only seems to matter from our usual, limited, often self-centered viewpoint. It basically asks, are you spending your emotional energy wisely?
And this is where it gets really practical, because we can see Marcus Aurelius actually doing this, working through it in his writings.
Exactly. His meditations aren't some polished, philosophical argument for the public. There is personal spiritual exercises, his internal dialogues, his reflections.
He wasn't writing them for anyone else.
No, apparently not. He wrote these notes explicitly to rectify his character for self-criticism and self-transformation. They were his private thoughts, his way of staying grounded, reminding himself of Stoic principles, and just steeling himself against the immense pressures he faced.
Wow. A sort of internal operating manual.
That's a perfect description. And within those intensely private reflections, those pages where he's basically talking to himself, you find him constantly, deliberately engaging in the view from above.
Okay, so how did he use it? What did he write?
Well, he contemplated human insignificance. Not out of pessimism, not nihilism, but purposefully, to cultivate perspective, to humble himself and find a kind of liberation in it. He wrote, and this is a passage that really hits home, "Short is the time which each of us lives, puny the little corner of earth on which we live. How puny, finally, is even the lengthiest posthumous glory."
Puny posthumous glory.
Yeah, and he goes on, "Even this glory, moreover, is transmitted by little men who will soon be dead without even having known themselves, much less him who has long since been dead."
That's pretty stark. But I see what you mean about it not being depressing. It's more like factual.
Exactly. He used this stark cosmic viewpoint to truly see the vastness of nature that envelops individual events, swallowing them up and making them appear like a pinpoint by comparison.
Like zooming out so far the details just disappear?
Precisely. And from that high-up perspective, that vantage point of immense scale, he could then ask himself, with real detachment, where is the tragedy in such negligible incidents? Where is the surprise or astonishment?
It's like stripping away the emotional drama we layer onto things.
Yes. Seeing them for what they are in the grand, timeless scheme. Temporary, fleeting, and ultimately not really worthy of our profound upset or perturbation. It helps us see that while something might feel like a crisis now, in the bigger picture, it's just a momentary ripple on an infinite ocean.
And we have to remember the context here. His life wasn't easy.
Far from it. His reign as emperor was, well, historians call it tormented. He took the throne and was immediately hit with natural disasters, military and political difficulties, and family cares and mournings.
Plagues, wars.
Plagues, wars on multiple fronts, rebellions, personal tragedies like losing children, his wife. Yet he used these very reflections, this mental discipline, not just to get through it, but actually to thrive amidst the chaos. The historian Cassius Dio said he used it to save the empire. He became admired for his composure, his inner strength, even facing extraordinary and unparalleled difficulties. And that resilience came directly from diligently practicing things like this perspective shift, day after day.
He also had that phrase, antilles of men.
Yes. That's another powerful image he used. He'd contemplate historical figures, the giants of their time, names like Piso, Valisus, Dentatus, Scipio, and Cato. Men who were once at the absolute pinnacle of power.
But now?
Now they're either just legendary names in history books or maybe mentioned only rarely. And then he'd widen his view even more to take in the crowd of anonymous people, countless doctors, astrologers, the entire population of Pompeii, everyone swept away by death and eventually oblivion.
Again, sounds a bit bleak, but I sense the purpose isn't bleakness.
Not at all. The intention wasn't to diminish human life, it was to highlight the temporary transient nature of all human struggles and the ultimate insignificance of that puny posthumous glory.
The fleeting nature of fame and praise.
Exactly. He understood, with incredible clarity, that all things shall be involved in oblivion, and the vast immensity of eternal duration on both sides. How empty the noisy echo of applauses, how fickle and injudicious the applauders, how narrow the bounds within which our praise is confined.
That's actually incredibly freeing when you think about it.
It really is. It strips away the pressure to constantly seek external validation, to chase fame or superficial praise. It lets you focus purely on your own inner state, on cultivating virtue.
So what does this mean for us today in our, modern, often crazy lives?
It means that by looking at the fleeting nature of life, by really internalizing the scale of the cosmos, Marcus reminded himself that his own troubles, however heavy they felt right then, were ultimately small and temporary in the grand scheme.
The goal wasn't indifference, though.
No, definitely not. It wasn't about becoming numb to life's joys or sorrows. It was about preventing taking that world for granted, avoiding getting so lost in the tiny details that we lose sight of the big picture. By detaching from the emotional grip of fleeting problems, he aimed to take delight in being part of an event that might not have taken place. To find real appreciation for the sheer miracle of being alive, rather than being constantly consumed by its temporary difficulties.
So being present, appreciating life, but holding the struggles lightly.
Beautifully put, yes. Holding them with a light hand.
And this isn't just thinking about it, it's a practice, a spiritual exercise.
Exactly. It's designed, quite literally, to bring about inner transformation. The ultimate Stoic goal, remember, is to make your own individual reason coincide with universal reason, to align your often chaotic inner thoughts and desires with the harmonious, rational order of the cosmos.
It's not about being passive then, just accepting everything.
No, it's about actively aligning your inner self with that fundamental order of nature, finding your place within it, living in accordance with its flow, not fighting against it unnecessarily.
And the benefit, the immediate payoff for our daily lives.
It's incredibly powerful. It furnishes powerful instigations for practicing the discipline of desire, which is one of the 3 core Stoic disciplines, alongside assent and action.
Okay, discipline of desire. How does the view help that?
Well, when human affairs, our personal dramas, our wants seem tiny and puny from that high-up perspective, they're just not worthy of being desired or feared with that overwhelming intensity we often give them.
Right, they lose their grip.
Exactly. From that vantage point, even death, that ultimate fear for so many, starts to not appear as something to be feared. It becomes just a natural, inevitable part of the universal process, like everything returning to the whole.
Epictetus talked about the root of our problems being our desires, didn't he?
He did, very eloquently. He said the root of our perturbation, our distress, anxiety, suffering is basically to wish for something, and that this should not happen, or to wish for something not to happen, and it does.
We create our own suffering by wanting things we can't control.
Precisely. Things that are ultimately indifferent to our inner state. The Stoic, through practices like the view from above, aims to adapt his wish to what is going on.
Adapt the wish.
Yeah, so that neither any of the things which are taking place shall take place contrary to our wish, nor any of the things which do not take place shall not take place when we wish that they should.
So it's not passive resignation, it's active alignment.
Exactly. Active alignment of your desires with reality. And when you achieve that alignment, that inner harmony, you start to live without uneasiness, without fear, without perturbation. You move through life with this calm, unshakable inner peace because your desires aren't constantly battling reality.
Okay, I think we should try it. Are you ready to guide us on this cosmic flight?
Let's do it. Tom, ambient music begins note. Music cue is for context, not part of the TTS dialogue.
Okay, everyone. I want you to find a comfortable position. Maybe sitting upright, feet flat on the floor, or lying down if that feels better for you right now. Go ahead and gently close your eyes and just let your attention settle. Follow the sound of my voice.
Take a deep, slow breath in. Really feel your lungs expand, and then exhale slowly, letting go of any tension you might be holding. Just feel your body in this space right now.
Notice the support beneath you, the chair, the floor. Feel the subtle sensation of the air on your skin. Become aware of your immediate surroundings, the sounds, the temperature, the atmosphere in the room. You are here, in this room, right now, a specific point in space and time.
Grounded.
Now, in your mind's eye, just effortlessly begin to zoom out. Imagine floating gently upwards, seeing yourself from the ceiling. Notice the walls, the furniture, the details of the space you're in. See your own presence there, a small point within this structure.
Gently pulling back.
Continue pulling back, effortlessly, like a camera slowly rising. See your entire building now, your home, your office, as part of a larger block, a neighborhood. Notice all the lives unfolding around you, below you. Activities in windows, movements on streets, small dramas, quiet moment, all happening at once. You're one thread in this vast web of human activity.
So many lives.
Keep zooming out higher and higher. Watch your city spread out beneath you. A mosaic of lights, streets, structures. See the cars moving like tiny ants, rivers winding, green spaces, millions of people, each with their own complex life, their joys, their anxieties, their loves, their losses, all contained within that expanse below.
Scale shifts.
Broaden further still.
Yeah.
See your entire country stretching out, mountains, plains, forests, coastlines. Beyond that, the entire continent, a vast landmass. Clouds drift slowly below you now, serene. Human constructions start to fade into the immense natural surface of the earth. And now even further, you're moving up past the atmosphere into the silent, deep blackness of space. The earth appears below, a small, shining blue marble swirling with white clouds, a living sphere suspended in the void, all of humanity, all history, all struggles, all triumphs. Your personal concerns, deadlines, arguments, worries, all contained on that beautiful, fragile blue sphere.
Just a marble.
Keep going. Drift past the moon, our dusty companion. Journey past Mars, the red planet, then the giants, Jupiter, Saturn with its incredible rings. The entire solar system, planets orbiting the sun, becomes just a tiny speck, one star system among billions upon billions. You are now truly out there, observing the breathtaking grandeur of the Milky Way galaxy, its movements, its revolutions, a vast, silent city of stars stretching across light years. There's only profound quiet here, humbling silence.
Immense.
From this unimaginable viewpoint, this vast, silent cosmic place, gently, very gently, bring your small earthly problems back into focus. That deadline, that argument, that worry. From this perspective, how do they appear now? Do they still feel quite so enormous, so all-consuming, or do they shrink, becoming almost insignificant, ephemeral, against the sheer, overwhelming scale of the universe and the fleeting nature of human life itself? Feel that shift.
Not things, but judgments about things.
This mental shift, this change in scale, helps you grasp that Stoic truth. What troubles people is not things, but their judgments about things. It's not the event, but the story we attach, the value judgments we add. By adjusting your inner discourse, choosing not to give undue weight to things without inherent moral value externals, others' actions, you can free yourself from so much unnecessary suffering. The problems might still exist, but their weight, their power over you diminishes.
Clarity, not reactivity.
Feel the lightness that comes with this detachment. Your problems are there, yes, but their grip loosens. Their power to disturb your inner peace fades. You are grounded, yet your perspective is vast.
Expanded.
Now, gently, begin your journey back, zooming in from the galaxy, past the solar system, towards that small, vibrant blue marble, our Earth. See your continent, your country, your city, your neighborhood, your building, and finally, yourself, back in this room, grounded once more in your physical space.
Returning.
And when you feel ready, slowly, gently, open your eyes. You're back. Back in your physical space, but hopefully carrying with you a renewed sense of calm, a deeper perspective, and maybe, just maybe, the feeling of a more unconquerable mind. Music fades note. Music cue is for context, not part of the TTS dialogue.
Wow, that cosmic flight of the soul. It's not just a one-off thing, is it?
No, not at all. It's a powerful practice, a tool you can cultivate and actually use anytime anxiety strikes, anytime you feel that familiar overwhelm creeping in.
It's about building that coolness, that sang-froid the Stoics talked about. Exactly, that imperturbable composure, that ability to respond rationally even when everything around you feels chaotic.
Like Rockefeller during those market crashes.
Right. When everyone else was panicking and selling, he kept his head. He had this unflappable coolness under pressure. He saw the chaos not just as disaster, but as an opportunity to learn and, well, to buy things cheap.
Huh. Practical perspective.
Very. His perspective let him see beyond the immediate panic. Or think of Lincoln clinging to that simple phrase, "This too shall pass," through the absolute nightmare of the Civil War.
That kind of deep calm, it comes from understanding what you can and can't control, doesn't it?
Fundamentally, yes. It brings us right back to Epictetus's core teaching, the cornerstone, really, of things some are in our power and others are not.
Simple, but profound.
Absolutely. And getting that distinction right is the key to inner freedom, things in our power, our opinions, desires, aversions, actions, basically our judgments and our responses.
And things not in our power.
Externals, our body, property, reputation, the weather, what other people do, basically all outside events.
Okay, and the crucial bit.
The crucial bit is what happens if you confuse them. If you mistakenly believe things that are naturally slavish or belong to others are actually your own, if you tie your happiness to them, then Epictetus warns, you will be hindered, you will lament, you will be disturbed, you will blame both gods and men. You'll just be constantly thrown around by luck and other people.
But if you get it right.
But if you truly believe that only that which is your own to be your own, and that what belongs to another really does belong to another, if you focus your will only on what's actually in your control, then, Epictetus promises, no man will ever compel you, no man will hinder you, you will never blame any man, you will accuse no man, you will do nothing involuntarily. That's the path. True freedom, an unconquerable mind.
So perspective. It really is a choice, an active mental discipline.
It absolutely is. It's about mastering your desires, not being enslaved by constantly trying to fulfill them, instead of always wanting new things, chasing the next fleeting satisfaction.
Yeah.
The Stoics give this radical advice. Work at wanting the things we already have.
Wanting what you already have. That profound acceptance, that deep appreciation for the present moment and what's already yours. That's the most direct path to real joy and lasting contentment. Not chasing, but appreciating.
And this practice, this view from above, it connects to the other big Stoic virtues too, right?
Yeah.
Justice, courage.
Intrinsically, yes. Justice, self-control, courage, freedom. They saw these as the only true goods, the only things that lead to a genuinely flourishing life.
So Stoicism isn't passive. It's not about just sitting back.
Not at all. Quite the opposite. It pushes for a relentlessly active, not passive, approach to life, applying practical wisdom to a succession of endeavors, personal, political, or social.
It's about transforming your inner world so you can better navigate and maybe even positively influence the external one. It's about being fully engaged with life, but doing it from a place of unshakable inner peace.
Okay, so a final thought for everyone listening. As you go about your day, maybe when one of those little irritations pops up or a deadline feels heavy, consider this. When was the last time you felt really, truly overwhelmed by a seemingly minor problem? Got that sinking feeling?
Yeah.
Now, imagine holding the entire Earth, or maybe even the whole solar system, right there in the palm of your hand as you think about that problem. How would it feel then? How might your reaction change?
That's a powerful image to carry, and it's a potent reminder, isn't it? While we gain this incredible perspective on ourselves and our own struggles today, our journey with these ideas, it doesn't end here.
That's right. Now that we have perspective on ourselves, our inner world, next week we're going to take another deep dive. We'll talk about our duty to everyone else, how Stoicism guides our interactions, our responsibilities, our place in the wider human community.
Looking forward to it.
Join us then.